Hello to everyone, my name is Gregor Horvat and welcome to our new video update surfing the Elliott waves, where I will look at some of the most interesting markets for this week. I will look at dollar index, gold, S&P 500, Aussie, dollar yen and dollar Mexican peso. Now this video has been sponsored by Orbex. So as you know, market expect that Fed will do the hike tomorrow. The question is if there will be maybe any moves beyond expectations. In such case, we could see even more strength on dollar. At the same time, metals could see even more weakness, which are already reversing based on this event that is coming. Also, we think that somehow Fed is obviously trapped because we have high inflation, so they are behind with interest rates, so they must do it. But on the other hand, you have these military actions, and normally this comes from debt, and you want during this period, obviously you want, if you have a lot of debt, you want lower rates. So we will see how Fed will actually decide tomorrow. But what is the most important to understand is that a lot of markets has already calculated or priced in this hike expectations. So maybe there will be buy the rumor, sell the news impact. So US dollar has been rallying over the last few months based on these hike expectations, meaning that when they will actually do it, we could see actually again shifting trends. So I would not be surprised if dollar index will stop, maybe slow down around 100 resistance area. It's a very strong psychological level here. Okay, you have also this upper trend line resistance being tested right now. So ideally, we are approaching the upper side of this triangle range that I'm tracking since 2017. However, on the 4-hour chart, there is still room for more upside here, as I said, towards 100. So I'm thinking about market to take some stops out above this previous swing high, and ideally this will happen in a fifth wave when market could actually start slowing down and even turn to the downside. So keep in mind that we are tracking here the final stages of this 5-wave advance from these February lows. Okay, so I think that dollar has gone very far so far, and if there will be a shift in policy, it can also mean a shift in trend. Now let's take a look also on gold. So as I said, gold came very nicely to the downside in the last week or 2 weeks. What is really important to understand is that market is actually coming down after retesting this high. So for now, even if you are just familiar with the basic technical analysis, this could be seen even as a double top formation. Okay, so a lot of traders will try to look for more weakness, especially because of this situation with the Fed, where higher rates equals lower gold. So I think that there is room actually for deeper pullback here on gold, even if it's just temporary pullback. So I'll delete this just to not confuse you. So the most important is to understand that I'm expecting deeper pullback. Why? Because if you look closely on the 4-hour chart here, notice that market is breaking this trend line. Is the second trend line since broken trend line since market made the top here. So I'm thinking about more weakness, especially after this wave B rally, which could then stop at this resistance. Now on the downside, I'm looking for a continuation after this rally towards 1878. Okay, now let's take a look also on the S&P 500. Now the S&P 500, in my opinion, is still in a corrective pullback, still trading within this downward channel, and the most important level that we should track is obviously around 4,000. So for now, I still think that this is a valid downward projection to complete this fourth wave. Why? Because when I look at the 4-hour chart here, notice that this trend, yes, it's slow and overlapping from the highs, but more importantly, this price action is also, as you can see here, is also very slow. So everyone is waiting on the Fed now, and I think that there is a chance for a spike to the downside, and then ideally we will see a bounce. So there is a very nice fib support as well here around 4,000 level. So from a bullish perspective, it's a little bit too soon, and obviously I will want to see a 5-wave recovery away from that support level before I may say that correction is finished. Okay, so for now I'm still bearish and I'm expecting more, at least short-term weakness, because I think that this latest price action from the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks is, I believe, wave B. So if S&P 500 is going to see more weakness, this means the dollar could see, yes, more strength, at least in the near term. And Aussie so far is suffering a lot. Here we are looking at the daily chart here on the left, and what I'm looking at is actually a 7 swing correction, ABC. So that's the first part. You have a 3 legs, then you have wave X, and now I'm observing another ABC drop in progress. So you have ABC structure at the bottom and ABC here at the start, and with wave X in the middle. So this connects the two corrections. So I'm looking for another drop here, ideally towards the 50% retracement, where I would be looking for price stabilization, ideally when stocks will also move close to a support. So for now, Aussie, I think it has room for more weakness, because on the 4-hour chart, if you look closely, recovery has been very overlapping here. Clearly in a corrective fashion. We have seen some moves and extension above or beyond this upper trend line, but notice that market very quickly came back to the downside, and so far it has made a very nice and strong progression to the downside. Currently we are retesting this trend line, where a broken trend line of this corrective channel, okay, and you have this also base channel. So these broken trend lines in the next few days will likely confirm that we are in a wave 3, because you will see an acceleration then. Okay, so wave 3 is typically the strongest wave when compared to other waves of an impulse. So I'm thinking that then we could easily even approach these February levels. Okay, so for now, Aussie is in bearish mode, especially as I said, if stocks will continue to the downside and have a stronger resistance above. And as long we are obviously trading below 73.67, I think that there can be more weakness coming. Of course, any rise above this trend line could already be the first indication that something else is going on. But overall, the most important to me is that on a daily chart, we are still here in a downtrend. You have a very nice and strong resistance here, and that this was a corrective rally. So I think that still bears are in play. Also, you have Chinese markets moving sharply to the downside. You also have a copper that is trying to look toppy around 5. So now let's take a look also on dollar yen. Now dollar yen is obviously breaking to the upside, but let's not forget that we are coming out of a triangle. We've been tracking this triangle for a while, and so far we are seeing fifth wave already approaching these projections, around 61.8% of this wave 3 measured from end of a wave 4. And then you have these triangle measurements where I took the distance of this widest lag here within a triangle and then put it and projected from the end of a triangle. And you can see that I came out with the targets around 118. However, when looking at the 4-hour chart, well, keep in mind that wave 5 must be made by 5 subwaves, right? Because that's a motive wave. But notice that this is still not the case. So this recent reversal that we are seeing from 261.8%, well, ideally it's top for a wave 3, so watch out for a wave 4 pullback. Now, wave 4 pullback can retrace for 38.2%. So let me see where this comes in, okay? So 38.2%, this comes in around 116.80 or 90, around there. And then also we can compare the distance of this wave 2 compared to current developments in wave, okay, just a second, in this wave 4. Okay, so that was wave 2, and you can see that wave 4 projection comes in around 117.10. okay, so that's definitely the area where we could see a potential new price stabilization. Okay, so for now, uptrend is still here. Just be aware of more downside price action here. It was also a flat here in wave 2, meaning that maybe this will be a sharp, simple, maybe zigzag back towards this level, and then we see a bounce. So for now, this is still an uptrend, just a consolidation in my opinion within uptrend. Of course, if we will start seeing continuation down back below 116, then I think that we will have to look for potential top here for a fifth wave already in place. Okay, but for now, we still have to see all completed subwaves within this fifth wave before we may say that this uptrend is coming to an end. Now let's take a look on dollar Mexican peso. I really want to look at this pair because let's say that I want to be prepared if there will be a risk on situation. So dollar Mexican peso would probably be my first choice. Now Bank of Mexico could look for a new rate hike because inflation is still higher. So maybe they could follow the Fed, and eventually this could mean that later on in the next few weeks, dollar Mexican peso could see more weakness. Keep in mind that this market is having a very strong resistance here at 61.8%, is coming to the downside despite the dollar moving higher across the board. So if dollar index, for example, will stop at the resistance, I think the dollar Mexican peso will see even more weakness, especially if we will see stocks trying to stabilize. So I want to be prepared on this move, and looking at this daily chart, clearly we had this corrective recovery from 2021 lows, followed by an impulsive sell-off from this 22 resistance, and then another three-wave rally towards 61.8%, from where we have another intraday bearish impulse. So I think as long as this 21.46 holds, there is a room for more weakness. So this could be like a hedge versus other dollar pairs that we are tracking as well. Okay, so I will definitely keep a very close eye on this one as well. Now, if we see an overlap with 20.78 with this swing high here, then this could be just another confirmation that yes, that bears are getting stronger on this pair. Okay, traders, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Talk to you soon.